What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Dylan, the Techno Giz Guy, and today we are going to set up your own custom verbal voice assistant within Home Assistant. I'm going to assume you already have Home Assistant running and installed in your network. I do. If you don't, you should. I probably will make a video about it at some point. This is a video on setting up a custom voice agent within Home Assistant, something you can converse with, your own personal assistant. And in a future video, I'm actually going to show you how we can build our own little satellite device to interact with that assistant and control your smart home locally with AI. Basically, it's like building your own Google Home or Amazon Echo device or Apple HomeKit if you're into that. What are the things besides Home Assistant you're going to need? You're going to need the Home Assistant community store. I'm not going to show you guys how to install that. There's a link to it down below. Their documentation's pretty solid. You will need the 11 Labs text-to-speech. If you're using 11 Labs, I am, because I actually use 11 Labs to clone a couple different voices and play around. They have one of the better voice cloning things. You can also set it up locally within Home Assistant and even train a voice and a speech model for a wake word. I am going to leave a link down below for that, and I'm going to show the setup of Whisper. The other thing you will need is the extended OpenAI Conversation. There is an add-on for Home Assistant called OpenAI Conversation that will do this task. However, this gentleman, Jackelman, decided to take the Home Assistant code and expand upon it greatly and give it a lot more control and ability to interact with things. So for now, the extended one is the one you want to use. I'm going to show you guys how to install that to Home Assistant. And in case it wasn't obvious, you will need an API key for OpenAI to use GPT. If you guys don't want to use OpenAI, maybe you built an AI server or you're running LM Studio locally, you can point this at your local instance and run this completely local. So let's jump into the computer and let's get started. All right, so this is not my main Home Assistant instance. This is a Home Assistant instance that I spun up on a VM just for this video. So it's fresh, there's nothing in here. The only thing I've done out of the box is install the Home Assistant Community Store. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up the Home Assistant Community Store, and I'm gonna go grab the 11 Labs. Yes, this is just right inside the store. You don't have to do anything special. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need the OpenAI Conversation. So here's the GitHub page. I will have this link down below. Installing this is really easy, guys. All you're gonna do is copy the GitHub link. Hopefully my Home Assistant is booted back up already, and it is. Fantastic. So here we have the 11 Labs TTS. While we're in here though, I'm gonna clear out my search. I'm gonna click the three dots in the top right corner for HACS. I'm gonna click on Custom Repository. I'm gonna paste in the GitHub link for that. And this is gonna be an integration repository. Add that, it'll pop up there. We can close out of this. And now you can see new, we have extended OpenAI Assistant. Let's go grab that, download it. You don't have to click anything here, just click download and then click download again. Most of these Home Assistant add-ons for this, they give you a pretty solid way, but I'm just gonna show you guys how to do it. If you wanna follow the tutorial, you can. But if you wanna follow the video, you can. Free world, do whatever you want. After you install 11 Labs TTS and you install the extended OpenAI Conversation, it will make you restart Home Assistant. So install them both and then restart all at once, or do it one at a time. I've been doing it one at a time because this VM boots really fast. Okay, while Home Assistant reboots and gets its stuff together, let's generate a couple API keys. Now, you guys are going to see these keys, but by the time this video goes up, I will have already revoked these keys, so do not try to use my 11 Labs or my OpenAI. Here in the OpenAI API section, I'm going to create a new secret key. Bitwarden is getting in my way. I'm going to name this YouTube, and that's fine. I'm going to copy my key and put it here, and we're going to go do the same for 11 Labs. In 11 Labs, to get a key, it's a little differently. If you have an 11 Labs account, you're going to click on your name, you're going to click API keys, and you're going to click create key. Get the key and copy the key. Okay, now that we have our keys, Home Assistant should be booted up by now. Let's go check. Home Assistant has fully booted up. We're sitting here now. Let's go jump back into HACS. Once you have these downloaded, we're going to come over here to the settings. We're going to go to devices and services. We're going to add an integration. And here you can see there's the OpenAI Conversation that's official from Home Assistant, and there's the extended one. We're going to install the extended add-on for an integration. So for this, I'm going to put in, you can put in whatever here. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put in personal assistant. API key, guess what? Guess what we're going to put here, guys? You guessed it, the API key from OpenAI. Look at that. You guys are so smart. I love you guys. Okay, you don't have to touch the base URL. Let me say something here. If you're using OpenAI, you do not have to mess with the base URL. If you are pointing this at a local AI or other form of hosted service that uses the same OpenAI protocol standard, which most people use their standard for API calls because it's the standard, you can change that, set it to your local thing, and it will pipe to whatever that is, whether it's LM Studio or an AI server in a rack. Or go watch that video over here. I think it's over here. I'm pretty sure it's over here. If I'm wrong and I'm editing this and I see the bubble over here, I'm going to be really sad. You don't have to put anything for an organization here. I'm not going to click skip authentication. We're just going to click submit. After you add the extended OpenAI Conversation one, and it's all in here, we're going to add integration again. Search up TTS and 11 Labs TTS. Paste the API key for 11 Labs in there, and we're configured. Okay, so for the text-to-speech, we're going to install Piper. Piper is in the add-on store. So within Home Assistant, you come to Settings, you go to Add-ons, you go to the add-on store. So these are official ones. We're going to download Piper. We're going to install that. The other thing you're going to want to grab is Open Wake Word. I'm also going to install Whisper, which is the OpenAI speech-to-text. Download all three of these because they're good to have. So Open Wake Word will give you the ability to use your own wake word using the Wyoming protocol, which is in part about the satellite video that we're going to talk about. So that becomes more important later. You can also use a really good guide that Home Assistant posted and train your own voice model. So that way it will respond to whatever you want. It comes with some default options, but if you want to call it something else, you can actually go train for free and in about 20 minutes a model, and it will listen for that. Piper is text-to-speech. So if you don't want to use 11 Labs, you can use Piper. Piper comes with a bunch of voices. You can also train an AI model on a voice, and as long as it will spit out a format that works with Piper, you can load it into the Piper files and set it up in the configuration and use it. So you can do everything we're doing today locally if you want to, but I'm not covering the nitty-gritty stuff of Piper. I'm showing you how to use it, and I'll show you guys how to set it up later. But for now, the main course of what I'm showing you how to set up is how I have it set up with 11 Labs and OpenAI. Whisper is actually the one you do need 100%. Whisper is going to handle our speech that we say and turning that into text. So once you have all three of these installed, you want to make sure that the watchdog is checked for all three of them and start them. Okay. So once you're done in the add-ons page, you want to come to Settings, Devices and Service, and some new things are going to show up in your Integrations tab. We're going to configure Whisper, we're going to configure Piper, and we're going to configure Open Wake Word. There's not actually any real configuration for these, but they are here. So you can see that now that they're all in here, all three of them have gone into this Wyoming protocol folder. Okay. So now that we're here, let's go set up a voice assistant. This is the fun part. So we're going to go to Settings. We're going to go to Voice Assistants. Home Assistant in 2024, they had this big Year of the Voice thing that they did. It was a really cool thing. They pushed voice control in Home Assistant a lot this year. So one of the first things they did were add in this assist pipeline so you can actually set up like a chat. And then they added in the ability to link with OpenAI so the chat could be intelligent. And then some people went and made it even better. There's also a way you can link this to a phone, like a POTS line. I'm really considering doing a video on that, but the problem is I don't have any landline phones. I have everything else I need to set it up. I just don't have a landline phone. If you guys want to see that video, let me know, and I'll go buy a landline phone at Walmart for like 10 bucks. Anyway, you get a default pipeline here, but I'm not going to mess with the default one. You can if you want. I'm just going to add a new one. This one I'm also just going to name Personal Assistant. In my Home Assistant environment, I actually have named mine. So for the conversation agent, I'm going to switch this from Home Assistant to Personal Assistant, which is our OpenAI. For the text-to-speech, we're going to come down. I'm going to select 11 Labs TTS. Speech-to-text, you have an option, Faster Whisper. To keep this English, you can load up other languages. I don't know how. There's guides on it. I only speak English, and quite frankly, I don't speak English very well. Text-to-speech, we're still going to have 11 Labs, and here you have all the different voices. These are different voices that 11 Labs will give you, but also your own voices will show up. So when you link your API key, your own voices will show up. If Whisper set up, I'm going to use Nicole Legacy for this voice. We can try this.
Hello, how can I assist?
I don't like that. That's creepy. Okay, no. Let's try Jessica. Jessica sounds nice. Hopefully Jessica is not creepy.
Hello, how can I assist?
All right, that'll work. So we're going to use that. Okay, guys, for some reason, the VM that I have spun up is not playing nice. It's not showing the wake word, even though I checked and open wake word is running. I'll look into that further, but for now, I'm just going to show you guys my production one. So everything else is the same, but down at the bottom, you guys will have a wake word. You'll say the engine, you'll pick open wake word, and then ones it comes with are ALEXA, Hey Jarvis, Hey Mycroft, Hey Raspy, and OK Nabu. If you were building this as a replacement and your family was already used to something, yeah, you could use what you're already using. And like I said, you can train more into this. So I'm not too worried about that for today because we're not going to be testing wake words, but I am going to show you guys this. So now that this is set up, we're going to update that. And that's it. So now we can go talk to it. So let's go to the overview. I'm going to click the chat window. Why? Just why? Apparently you can't use microphone without HTTPS, which I feel like should really be my decision, not the browser's, but that's a video for another day. I had to reverse proxy my Home Assistant DM box. And then after I did that, first off, why did I have to reverse proxy a tutorial box? Because apparently you cannot give microphone access to a web page if you're not connected to it over HTTPS. So the quickest way for me to get HTTPS was to reverse proxy it. Also, I had to switch to my MacBook for the screen recording because I realized that the mic on my main computer basically can't hear me from where it's at. And I don't have another mic hooked to that computer. I don't have even ability to hook mic to computer because it's already giving me problem with I/O because it has too many problem and it don't like itself. I can't wait to upgrade to Mac in December for main machine. Anyway, when in doubt, use the Mac. So this thing has a mic, so now I can come in here, click on this. How are you doing tonight?
I'm here and ready to help. What can I assist you with today?
Okay, so you guys saw it was really fast, it was really quick. I can't ask it things about the home specifically because obviously there's nothing set up in this Home Assistant. But as you get this set up, you are able to ask it things about the temperature or even tell it to change the state of things. Now I want to show you guys how to set up Piper, just in case you guys want to use the local voice instead of using 11 Labs, just in case you're not a subscriber to 11 Labs like I am. We're going to go to Settings. We're going to go to Voice Assistants. We're going to go to our Personal Assistant. And for the text-to-speech, I'm going to select Piper. Piper gives you a couple different voices as well that you can try. I'm going to listen. Let's try Amy Medium. The test is always a little slow the first time you do it because it has to cache certain things. Today, come on. Come on. Every minute is a gigabyte of storage that I don't have. All right, crew. I wanted to really quickly record something. This is the night before you're seeing this video. I had a rough week at work and was not able to get this video done until just now. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys that the local AI runs a lot smoother than you see in the video. I don't know what was going on with my VM on my laptop. I'll figure it out. But this is my actual production home assistant, and I have set it to the local standard, so it's still using OpenAI, but everything else is local. How you doing tonight? Do I not have sound?
Oh, I'm just peaky, sir. How about yourself? Anything special I can help you with this evening?
Okay, so you can see there is still definitely a lag, but it is nowhere near as bad as what you guys saw in the video from the night I recorded that. It is definitely slower. Now, I am running my Home Assistant server on a Raspberry Pi. It's a Raspberry Pi 4, but it is still a Raspberry Pi, so your mileage may vary with this, but I just like to use 11 Labs. Also, since this is my actual production assistant, I want to show you guys this. What's the outside temperature and humidity?
The outside temperature is 65.3 degrees F and the humidity is 82%.
So the voice is a little weird, but it's just whatever random voice was included in Piper. I didn't even bother to check. But yeah, so I have a weather station outside, and you can see that it uses natural language, and it's able to give you accurate data on anything in your house. So really cool. Back to normal, Dylan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And you're going to want to subscribe because, like I said, the next video we're talking about taking this assistant that we just made for Home Assistant and actually giving it a body, giving it something to use so it's not just in a browser or on the Home Assistant app. We're going to make our own satellite. I'm going to walk you guys through the whole process. I don't know if it's going to be the next video because I'm still trying to figure out the casing. In fact, the next video might be fitness related. So stay tuned for that. Regardless, you're not going to want to miss it. We always have a kick-ass time, and I got all kinds of stuff planned and more stuff coming. I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it peaceful.